G'day everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Wholesome Heathen. I am Johnny Hellwinter, The Wholesome Heathen, and tonight we are cooking a vegan Tonkotsu Ramen. Tonkotsu is my favourite variation of ramen, and being able to make a version of it at home that we can both eat is absolutely delightful. We spent many times trying to get different iterations of this correct so that we could film this and show you. It's based off a recipe that we found on Pinterest, and yeah, I'll be taking you through how we basically prepare what is effectively a complete vegan substitute for a pork bone broth, and then our own little spin on it using purple sweet potato vegan and a few little extras that we threw on as well. But yeah, come along for the ride. Right, so your cutting and your prepping stuff is super simple. 5-ish cloves of garlic, 1 onion, some sprigs of spring onion. We're using Japanese bok choy today, but you can use any sort of bak choy, pok choy, Asian leafy greens, and that all just gets cut up finely. And I also just want to show you how cute are these little bags that we have for our onions and for our garlic. I just thought that was cute. I just wanted to show you that. Now that everyone's been chopped, we're going to take the onion and the garlic over to the stove and start cooking. Everything else is going to stay here. In case you're wondering, these are just some enoki mushrooms that we're going to chuck in on the top at the end. So the first thing we're going to want to do is caramelize our onion and garlic a little bit. So we're going to chuck that in our big pot with a bit of this garlic and onion infused olive oil, if you can get your hands on it. Oh, the smell of that's just incredible. Once that onion's really started to soften up, you're just going to chuck in a good tablespoon, or teaspoon rather, or tablespoon, depends on what kind of maniac you are, of ginger. Mix it in a bit. Then we're adding 2 cups of vegetable stock. Beautiful. Now we're going to let that reach a boil, and then we're going to turn the heat right down and let it simmer for about 20 minutes. Hey Google, cancel the timer.
No problem, I cancelled it.
Thank you. Right, so the other thing that we're having tonight to go with our ramen are some of these vegetable gyoza, which we thoroughly enjoy, so I want to start preparing them now. I'll show you how we do that. So you want 2 tablespoons of oil. Into the pan you go. Right. So you got that oil warming up in the pan. Pop your gyoza in. Now this is for sort of pan frying method, obviously. Do it differently. You can steam them, boil them. Turn the heat down a little bit, don't want to fry the Christ out of them. While they're getting about their business, we're going to start adding the rest of the ingredients to the stock. Just make sure you have a little looky, make sure they're cooking evenly and not sticking. That's nice. Lovely. Look at that. So, we want 2.5 cups oat milk, okay, give it that lovely creamy texture. 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. 1, 2. In you go. Gonna go in now. 1.5 tablespoons of this sesame paste, which can be quite thick and messy. Yep. Just throw that everywhere. In it goes. Sometimes it's handy to have another spoon on hand to sort of help scoop it out. That's 1. So we can fish out another half. Yeah, that looks reasonable. There you go. The last 2 things are a good handful of dried shiitake mushrooms, which we have here in our little jar. Just sort of use an amount that you feel is appropriate, whatever a handful is to you. And about 1.5 tablespoons of cooking sake, or just cheap sake. Beautiful. How are these looking? Just good to check in. And they're starting to brown up, which is nice. That's what we want. While that's doing its thing, about 5 or 6 tablespoons of water. Throw that in the pan with your gyoza. Put a bloody lid on it. Right. Next step, the actual ramen itself. Get some water on the boil. Now while all that's going on, thank you. We've got to blend this. I'll be turning the volume down on this because it's bloody loud. So the trick with that is to make sure you get it as smooth as possible with as few sort of lumps and clumps as you can, because we are going to be straining it before we serve it, but it helps to not have big chunks of onion, garlic or mushroom sort of floating around in there. It just aids the process when we strain it. So that water's just about to boil, so just about time to chuck the ramen in, I reckon. Again, we're using this incredibly cute purple sweet potato ramen, as a traditional egg ramen isn't vegan. Now, truly the ramen doesn't actually need to cook for that long. How good is that? How good is that purple? Now comes the trickiest part of the entire operation, which is sieving the ramen base through the sieve into the pot that you just emptied the ramen out of. Okay, dispose of any leftover material as you see fit. Right there. Pour your broth over your purple ramen. And we'll head over there to put the extras on. And there you have it. Vegan tonkotsu ramen served with a side of gyoza and sake. Try it at home, let us know what you think. Catch you next time.